NuNu Radgari. Welcome to
Yes.
Adultish Wines.
I'm excited to be
I was
here.
really scared I was going to mess up the name because you told me not Rodriguez. That's what people say. And then you get that in your mind.
And then that's what you want to say.
And that's what, you know, like, were you ever a server? Did you ever wait tables?
No, I could never imagine holding the little tray. It would freak me
You're
out.
so tiny.
I could probably be a bartender before I could be a waitress. Could
Maybe.
you imagine me falling with the whole tray and drinks?
Honestly, kind of,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
But people would say, like, I want a water with no lemon. And it's like, we didn't even put lemons on the water. But then if you said that to me, all that was in my head was lemon.
Bring the
So
lemon.
it's just like, that's
Extra
my
lemon.
learning. Yeah, so I'd bring extra lemon.
And it doesn't bother me because I've dealt with this my whole life. So
Yeah.
I'm used to it.
And Nushin. So if you go to Starbucks, that's your real name.
Yeah, but of course I have a fake name.
What's your fake name?
Oh, well, growing up, it was Jasmine. Yeah.
Oh my
That's like a
God.
joke. Like some of the guys that I still know till this day were like,
Yeah.
Jasmine. And I'm like,
Yeah.
well, you can still call me that.
That's kind of fun.
And then NuNu, obviously.
Okay.
I still go by NuNu. But
Okay.
before, when I didn't want them to know, like, back in the day when you used to meet guys at the mall.
Wait, NuNu. Sorry. Wait. I'm so sorry to do this to you, but how old are you?
We're not going to talk about that.
No, we have to
Okay,
because
well, I'm in
meeting
my-
guys at the mall, 34. When did I meet a guy at the mall?
You didn't meet a guy at the mall at 34? God. Was there no malls?
Cheers.
Okay, well, if you're not from Houston, there was a mall by the name of Sharpstown
Okay.
that when I was younger, because I'm in my 40s,
Okay. We'll go with
we
that.
used to hang out at. It was 2-story mall, like the Galleria kind of, but
Are some malls one story?
now they are.
Yeah.
We have a mall in Sugarland, and that's 1 story. And then Memorial City's 1 story. And
Okay.
then,
Yeah, you're right.
Mm-hmm. I think they're 1 story now or outdoors. But
Sad. All the
Mhm.
shopping is going online.
yeah, because you could hang over and look
Oh my God,
down.
like the scene in Clueless.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yes.
Of course.
So anyways, yes, you did go to the mall, get dropped off to meet people and exchange numbers. It was a great time. People were meeting people
Aw.
back then. And
Fun.
it would last longer than a week. So
Wow.
yeah, I wish I could go back.
I know. Yeah, me too. I want to
Yeah.
try that. No, you're right. I guess I did like hang out at malls. I was not into guys when I was a teenager, though.
Well, you've heard of Astroworld, right?
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's what we used to do there too.
Okay.
Get dropped off.
Okay. That.
Yeah.
Is Astroworld also Magic Mountain or different here?
No.
Okay, so we have Six Flags. Magic
Six
Mountain.
Flags, yeah.
Okay. In Valencia, where I'm from.
Mhm.
So yeah, we would do that type of stuff. I don't know, a strange kid. Like I didn't really grow
Yeah,
up.
because
doing
it's so
fun.
ancient, I'm so old.
I'm so sorry to have like started off the podcast like that.
Okay. Okay.
Do you want to leave?
Huh?
You know what though? I had to get one in because I was
got
on
you.
Instagram last night scrolling through my messages that I need to respond to, and I see in my message queue, Nushin removed Paige Crutcher from chat. Excuse me.
I removed myself and removed the whole chat. Now you know why, because we talked about that.
Oh, we
Yeah.
sure do. I thought
When you sent
I
me
thought
that, I
you-
was in the middle of dinner, so I wasn't able to break all that down.
Of course.
And so I just said haha, and then so that's why.
Oh my, okay. Well, honestly, so I texted her because I'm not afraid of a little confrontation.
Yeah.
And I said, I feel attacked.
Yeah.
And you were just like, haha. But
And
that
I
makes
was
sense.
yeah. And
I thought it was because I don't
still didn't
respond.
know what I didn't see where it says I removed you. I thought you were trying to show me that you had all these messages or
Oh,
something.
I'm so popular. I'm so popular.
I was like, oh haha. But no, for that, yeah. That's what happened.
Okay.
Oh yeah, no, I'm not that kind of girl.
But I was like, honestly, like,
Unless you piss me off.
what am I trying to say? Like aggressive, like
Yeah.
cojones. You were like removed
Yeah.
from chat. I was like,
And so
okay.
that, yeah.
Okay.
Sad story.
Well,
We'll
okay.
get to
Well,
that part.
we're still homies then.
Mhm.
Okay, so mom, food blogger, content creator, influencer. What is your volleyball? You work in sports. What's your title there?
So I would say like director. So I've been doing that since I graduated high school, which as you see is a long time ago now.
Oh my God. Okay, I'm so sorry.
And then so it's a family business. My dad opened that gym when I was graduating high school. We run volleyball club out of there. We have adult open play. We have adult training. We have camps, all the good stuff of volleyball.
It's so fun.
Yeah. And so it's been a long journey. I will say it definitely was started fun. I mean, now I'm getting a little older and I'm like, let's retire.
Yeah.
But it's definitely a cool job. It's definitely not a something that you're like, oh, this is so boring. Not at all. So, and it's
Yeah.
also one of the things that I love about it is I get to work with beautiful little girls
Aw.
that grow up to be great young ladies, and I get to mentor them. I get to be a part of their life. My dad's a very strict, stern coach. I'm more the nice one
Okay.
that's like, you know, they can vent to me, they can talk and tell me stuff, and I can be like, well, you know what, guys, you got to do this, you need to do this. When it's coming time for college, you need to make sure. So it's crazy to have grown up with those kids. Like, to think that now one of my oldest girls is probably 35.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy? And then I started at about 17, and they were like, I don't know, maybe 13, 14.
That is so
And
cool.
yeah, it's pretty crazy. So I did kind of shift, and after COVID, and kind of went into influencing, went into social media. I started some other stuff. And I thought I was just like kind of like filling a void, kind of like, oh my gosh, I've been doing this since I was 17. I was just put into it. You know, I played volleyball, but it wasn't like it's something I said, I'm going to wake up one day
You're going to
and
work in this for the rest of your life kind of thing.
Exactly. So I was looking for something else, and it just happened that I got into social media. And you know, I thought, wow, maybe I'll step away from this, you know, even though it's a family business, can you really step away from it? But I really thought maybe I would. And my girls were the ones that were like, we love you. We miss you. We're watching you. We see everything you do. And I kind of was like, oh my God, I have the best job in the world. I get to help young girls become, you know, strong, independent women. And that was just an eye opener to me. That was like, I could never walk away from this, you know?
I love that.
Yeah. So love my girls. Shout out to my girls. So they will kill me if I don't say something to them.
That's really sweet. I think that is such a cool job because I played volleyball in high school. I played a little bit of beach when I lived in South Bay in California, and then I played a little bit here. But every time I would go to my niece's volleyball game or something like that, and I see a volleyball, it is like this feeling in me that like,
once again,
and I wasn't even that. I mean, I was a good player. I wasn't even that great
myself. Listen, I'm tiny.
Were you libero though?
Back then, you know what? I hate to say this. It wasn't even really around when I played. So it just kind of was.
You were just back row, passer?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Setter, maybe. Wherever they would put me.
Okay.
But yeah, I was subbed in, subbed out. But honestly, I will tell you this, that when I wasn't the greatest player, but I played. And it was, my dad is the very passionate one when it comes to volleyball. He's like all over that. He's like the goat of volleyball. But I didn't play club. There was no club back then. And then I never knew that he was going to open a gym. Had I known these things, I would have took it more seriously.
Right.
So later I was like, obviously got more into it, and then was like, okay, this is me. I'm going to be doing this for a long time. But I think he kind of would be like, man, I wish this kid would have took, you know, like I think he wanted to live through a little bit of my high school years.
Do you have brothers or sisters?
None.
Okay.
No. So it's just me. So sometimes I wonder if he came to my games and was like, oh man.
Oh, you need to ask him. You've never asked him?
I think he would just say, no, you're okay. No, you're okay. But I see the way he talks to the girls on the court. I don't think I was okay.
Like, I was not okay.
He was just like, oh, I'm gonna leave early. But so, but it wasn't the same. You know, in my day, my coach was my math teacher. It wasn't actually someone who played volleyball or knew anything about it. It wasn't fun. It wasn't that great in my high school. So, I definitely got more into it after the fact. And so a lot of times with my girls, I feel like I'm like, oh my God, you got to do this. You have so much going going today than we did then.
Yeah.
So, and then if you're tall, that's even a super plus.
I should have been better. Like, I should have had more hops, but like I didn't make varsity my junior year, and I was so torn up about it, right? Like, that's such a moment for you. But then I played JV. I still accepted the position to be on JV, and I ended up getting MVP, and I played every single second when all of the other juniors on the varsity team didn't step foot on the court.
Yeah. And we talk about that all the time.
That's one of the biggest lessons I learned, that like, you don't always have to be, and I remember it to this day. I did not want to be on JV. I was so upset. Like, I was the only junior, you know. I had the best volleyball season of my life, and I loved.
You got to play. You don't get that opportunity. You know, like after high school's over, if you just sat on the bench, was it worth it?
Right, but it's a good. I think it's a good learning thing that I took into like my adult life, which I don't think about it often, but when I do, I just remember that feeling of like, okay, you don't want to be, you kind of don't want to always be the best person in a crowd of the best people. Like, you need that variety because you're going to learn so much.
It humbles you.
It humbles you.
It definitely does. And you don't always think that you're the winner. You know, like I always say this when it comes to sports, it takes a team. One person cannot win a game, especially when there's more than one player on any court. It takes the team. When your team is down, you got to pick each other back up. When your team is winning, you have to be there to encourage each other, say good job. You know what I'm saying? It takes a team. So you take that into adulthood. If you go work for a job or start your own company, it still takes a team to, you know, keep everything going. And I think that's something you live for life. Those skills are forever. And then you know how to treat each other. You know how to, you know, it's respect.
Yeah.
So I love that. I think that if anybody has kids, especially if your kids want to play sports, you definitely should. The discipline too alone.
Oh, yeah.
Is always a plus.
Yeah, definitely. I'm really happy I had that opportunity. I feel like it taught me a lot. And you're also one of the co-hosts of Her Opinion podcast, which I've been on. So if you haven't checked out the episode that I did, probably a month ago at this point, it was out. So,
yeah, talking about dating.
Huh?
Talking about dating.
Talking about dating, which is kind of what we talk about when we're out and about too. Okay, so food blogger, when you got into that over COVID, did you immediately know that it was going to be food that you were into? Were you like, what was your intention there? Was it accidental?
Complete by accident. Okay. I think when it was so corny when I was doing it, like posting horrible pictures. Then we were like stuck at home, and then I was calling my friends and telling them, send me what you're cooking. Like, I need to post.
Oh
like,
my
gosh. So
gosh.
my friends would send me their waffles in the morning.
Stop.
And all this stuff to actually have stuff to post. Because at first I was just starting to go to restaurants and post like random stuff. And then we were shut down. So I was like, oh my God, send me your breakfast. So it kind of turned into like what everybody's cooking at home.
Okay.
And then that, you know, happened. And then, of course, it was like the restaurants got back open, support the restaurants, support local. So then that's what I was going out. You know, we weren't working, weren't doing anything. And I was going to restaurants and posting. And at that time, restaurants needed help. So they were reaching out and they were saying, you know, come to this restaurant, come to that restaurant. And I think, you know, as it grew, obviously, anything you do that you don't know, even if you know, you should always do your homework, learn how to be better. How can you get better quality video, pictures? Because mine were not good. I mean, I was on TikTok when it first started. So my TikToks like were horrible, but trending. Like I was going viral for some crappy videos and I was proud. I was TikTok famous for a little bit, you know? And looking back, I'm like, God help me, those videos were horrible. But
you have to start somewhere.
No, but people were on. People were looking for, you know, everybody was kind of starting, right? And videographers kind of like blew up after that. And so you had people looking at these videos, and I just kind of started to grow because of TikTok just being new and fresh. And so then I said, oh, I'm getting invited more. And now I'm kind of like now not paying for food and stuff like this. I need to take it serious. And so I did. And I started to make better videos and do stuff like that. And I will say, like, anything you want to try or you have a passion, like that was not my passion. It kind of turned into something that I felt like, oh, I could do this. I could turn it into, because everything to me is like, can I turn it into a business?
Oh, good for you.
Yeah,
you
because
be more business savvy.
Listen, time is of the essence here. So it's just like dating. Like I can't put a lot of time into something that's not going to make me money or make me feel like, you know, there's a benefit here.
Yeah, adding value.
Yeah, unless it's something you're very passionate about and you're like, you know, it just brings me joy to, you know, help this or do this situation. And it does bring me joy to help certain small mom and pop restaurants. I do love doing that. But again, it's time consuming. It takes a lot when you have a full-time job. And so you got to have to, you know, incorporate a way to make money out of it. So when I started to do that, I really did turn it into a business. Yeah. And so now, you know, I make money out of it. I charge. And you definitely can do it. Anybody can do it. It's just know that it's a lot of work.
It's not easy.
Yeah, it's not easy. It's a lot of work and you have to invest into it. It costs a lot of money, but you're eating out anyway.
Yeah. Are you
you know?
staying fit while doing so?
I mean, I did gain weight. I mean, COVID weight, right? I mean, it was, yeah, of course. But then you have to, so when I first started, of course, I was amazed with all the food I was getting and, and eating everything up.
Yeah, and everything's so
And then
good.
after a while, it was like, nope, because content comes first, video comes first.
So true, because by the time you get to the food,
Yes.
it's probably cold anyway.
I couldn't take a lot of friends because they would get all impatient. It was like, oh my God, how many pictures? And I'm like, you're not invited back, okay?
Yeah,
Like,
totally.
but by the time you're done, the food's cold. So at that point, I just eat a little bit and then I'm good, wrap it all up, take it to go. So I had to find patient friends or just start hanging out with other food bloggers,
Mhm.
And but yeah, all of that was learning lessons. And so now I don't eat as much. I taste. I taste. Clearly it doesn't work in your favor when you're
Yeah.
eating all the food. Okay.
Yeah.
And then I really have to eat the food though too, so people really do believe that I do like the food.
Of course, because
good.
you're not.
Yeah.
You're probably, maybe you do go to a restaurant that you're not sure that you like,
Yeah.
but you're probably not going back, kind of thing.
And I try to be honest about my posts, like, because at the end of the day, if people are following you and they're like, I went there and that was horrible, they're gonna find out that you're lying or getting paid just to push something.
Right.
And that's not what I try to do. I mean, especially too, if someone's like, hey, I'm gonna pay you, we're off NASA Road 1, Clear Lake, and I'm like, oh, that's kind of out of my area. I'm on the other side of town. Or if someone's like, we're a food truck and just come for what do you call it? They just want me to get some free food. I'm like, yeah, no. There's boundaries that you have to set. You
But
can't.
for me, I'm not that I'm a food blogger at all, but I am trying to build my personal Instagram. And you told me this a couple weeks ago. You gave me a couple helpful hints, and you were like, you might have to start off just doing, stuff for.
You have to start off that way.
Yeah, correction.
You do have
to. Yeah.
You have to start off that way. Unless you have a following and you're, like I said, the podcast and stuff like that, you tell them. But again, you have to. Like a lot of places can't afford to pay you. I understand that part. I do feel sometimes when they have a budget, they're doing well, you have to like stand your ground. It's a business. You know what I mean? Some people just do it for fun and food, and that's okay.
Yeah.
But you do what you have to do. But I do, yeah, like in the beginning, I loved getting just, exchange for food, and it gave me content, right? It gives you content for your page to build it up. So like I said, but a lot of times you're going to the restaurant, you're paying for the food and you're posting the content. They're getting free content and you're paying. So that's part of the start too. It's costing you money.
That's the investment you're talking about.
The investment. Hey, are we going to happy hour? You're begging your friends to go to happy hour so you can have more food to post. And they're like, is she using me? Yes, I am.
All right, get ready. Get ready. Because I have noticed, like, actually some of my friends are really, they're all pretty patient with me, and like I'll say, like I'll walk in and they're kind of like in what we're wearing now, like leggings or stuff, and I'm like, sorry, I want to make content, and they're like, that's okay, get it, like they're cheering me on. They're happy
you're real loyal ones, the ones that have been around for a while. They know now. Like my friends know now. I mean, some friends I'm like, oh, I'm all cringed out because I'm like, they're looking at me like, come on, sis.
I know. When are you ever gonna get over that cringe feeling?
No.
Yeah.
It gets better, but there's always a moment who's around you, who's
you got your
looking.
light out, you got your tripod.
People think that you like it. Like, it's like, oh, you want all that attention? I do not. Like, I'm mortified. I'm like literally making faces in a camera when I'm eating. Like, it's like you're trying to be sexy as you eat, not look like a fool. Like, there's a lot to it, and it's weird. It is, but it's part of it.
Very vulnerable.
It's part of it. And guess what? You get to have the benefit of being friends with me. So when I go to these gigs, you get to post content out of it and not to pay for it.
Okay, but I haven't even done that.
I know. Well,
I need
to. I mean, we haven't really done a bunch of but I'm saying is that's the good part when you have friends that are food bloggers. And if you want to get into it, I do tell some of my friends that if they're not looking to be in food blogging, post themselves around the food, but make it about kind of them and not the food. And just kind of tag that they're at the restaurant and they're like, because
that's probably going to be me.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to be a food blogger. I'm more lifestyle.
And I fell in the trap and I'm here now and I'm just trying to like weave in and out.
You're so great at it. And then what made you start a podcast? What you and tell me Jen's last name?
Perez.
Okay.
So Jen definitely was not probably wanting to start a podcast, but
Okay.
she's really good about ride or die. Like she's like, I'm good. She's we've worked together, done a lot of stuff together. I used to do her social media. And so I felt like at first we wanted to kind of put women on a couch or a chair and let them tell their story, right? Because we felt like there's so many impactful stories and women that deserve to have a platform to, to kind of, say how they got started, where'd they come from, trauma, whatever it was, right? And then we realized that it's kind of boring sometimes because it's hard. Well, I mean, nobody's story is boring, but we didn't know how to navigate that. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like entertainment wise, some people are like, heard it before.
Oh, right. And they're like also like there's no drama. And like sometimes you need the
someone's
drama.
just, and then I came here with nothing and, blah, blah, blah. And it's just, dead air kind of, and you've got to like pick it up, and it's entertainment no matter what.
Right.
And while their story's amazing, the person listening has heard it 5 times, or something, whatever. And we were like, God, we got to do something. Like, how do we change this up? How do we make it without, like, I don't know. Because a lot of people don't get too deep either.
Okay.
They're giving a little bit of, the scope, but they're not trying to cry on the couch because that's literally what it takes for people to keep watching. So we said, okay, let's turn this into a topic, bring them on, kind of touch base on what they've been through. But hey, they survived. We're on the other side now. Let's make it fun.
Okay.
And so that's kind of what we did. Is now it's a little bit more giving the platform, yes, and then being about entertainment as well. So then it's like career, motherhood, like everyday things that we go through, and then bring a little bit of entertainment to it.
Okay. And sometimes you have guys on too.
Yeah. Because, I mean, you got to give them a little bit of a time. So we're a women's podcast, obviously.
Okay.
But, I mean, we got to let men have their say.
They got to have their moment.
Yeah, their moment. We don't give them too much.
No, well, as you know, Adultish Wines, like.
Oh, you have everybody on here.
Yeah.
No judgment zone here. Anything goes.
Got everybody on here. No, I do.
Yes.
I really do. I do not have. I feel like a lot of your guests, which honestly, like, actually, really quick, I want to say that I don't know if I've said this out loud before, but first of all, I love podcasting, but I've also really loved the relationships that I've made through podcasting. You, Raya, even just like meeting Carolina through, at the nightcap. Like, it's been such a refreshing environment.
It's an easy way to network, isn't it?
It's an easy way to
and
network.
And then make friends out of it.
Yeah, and like good quality humans, like. So I wanted to say that I think that that's really cool too. Like, it's obviously really cool to have guests on, and then when you can kind of maintain that relationship or friendship and keep in touch, whether it's through social media or out in
cheers,
person. Cheers.
We're one of those.
Yeah, we are.
And not be scared, because I think people don't understand when you get into something, podcasting, food blogging, whatever, social media, you have to put yourself out there. Any business, real estate, you have to network. Just like when we met you, when I kind of reached out with you, even though we have the nightcap and things like that, we went to support you. We didn't know you that well yet, but we went to support you for your event. Yeah. And it was great because you do need to learn things like that. You need to go out and, like, if someone's doing something, how can you do something like that? Or, sorry, it's figuring out like, oh, this is cool. And then if we do something like this, how can we do it? And then, do it in our own little way. And I think we learned a lot from just going to your event. And that was a great event, by the way.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. I'm very proud of that event. And you have an event coming up. Actually, wait, when is this episode going to be out?
Will it be out before?
No, December, I think it's going to be out.
Is the event.
I can't remember.
Before,
if it is,
before
say
the new year?
I can't remember.
Anyways, no, the event is private.
Oh.
Sorry. So it's just for our guests.
Oh,
yeah. So it's just for our guests and our personal friends.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
I'm coming, by the way.
Yes.
This is my RSVP.
Her RSVP is
I haven't
word
emailed yet.
Okay. And so we're gonna put our guests on. We're gonna give out some awards.
Uh-oh.
Yes. So maybe you'll get one.
Oh, no.
So awards, and then maybe ask some funny questions. We won't do the live podcast like you guys did.
Okay.
But we're gonna just kind of pass the mic around and do some stuff like that. Yeah. So,
I'm excited to like be in another environment.
Yeah.
Something similar. Like you said, you're learning.
But I feel like also this is our first event. That was your first event. And then, like, can you imagine what next year will be like?
Oh, yeah.
But I think also collab. with a bunch of podcasts. I think we should host an event,
Yeah.
something big. Yeah.
Houston podcast.
I think we
something.
know what Austin does. But
What do they do?
They do a lot of stuff, but Houston doesn't do as much.
Okay,
I feel
well,
like,
let's go.
I feel like we can be the ones that start it.
Okay.
Okay. Let's tune in. We'll see what happens.
Oh, wait, I'm kind of
We'll
excited.
yeah, I know.
Okay, adding another thing to our plates. We can do it.
Mm.
We can do it.
We can do it all.
You are
Together.
a mom. How old is your son?
God, here we go.
Oh, shoot. Sorry.
24. No, I'm proud mom. 24 years old. He's at Texas State. He doesn't watch any of my content.
Okay, it's better
He
that
just
way.
started following my food influencer page. Can you believe that?
Stop.
Yeah, he's a streamer. But
Okay.
So that's why he started following me, because now he's like, he followed me back. Oh wow. So
That's
yeah.
so cute.
He's at Texas State. He'll be graduating soon. And yeah, I'm just a proud mom, only child. He's very spoiled. Again, I am Mexican and Persian.
Okay.
He's very spoiled in a Mexican way.
Okay.
But he's a half black, so he's also very influenced by the Mexican side, which is bad because
Why
I
is it
shouldn't say
bad?
too much because he'd get mad at me. Well, because we do a little mama's boy stuff with our sons in the Mexican side.
Oh,
We
y'all
baby
are
them
very
too much.
protective.
Yeah, protective, and yeah, and he hates it.
Okay.
So.
And that doesn't come from the Persian side, you think?
Well, no, yes and no. So the moms do that with their sons. The dads are not as much. They don't really baby them. But I think we talked about this, did we? Or no, that was Rhea. That I said they're similar culture,
Mm-hmm.
but as far as the hard part on the stern side on the Persian side is like, you still have to be like, you better like engineer, it's like really
Okay.
hardcore. On the Hispanic side, yes, go to college, do whatever, but it's laxed. It's very lax. They just want you to work, go do something, and we'll wash your clothes at home if you need to come home or do whatever. Yeah,
Oh,
it's
so
very
as long as
homemaker.
you're doing good, like be productive and like I got your back.
and you can stay home
and-
forever, never have to leave. I don't feel like that's us, but I'm saying is the culture is kind of
Right.
like that. Like it's more my mom. She's like that with him too.
Oh my god.
So yeah, he kind of hates it, but loves it. Cause don't get me wrong, cause
No,
he's
of
also
course.
like, yeah,
What kid is not
Yeah,
gonna love that?
he's also like, what'd y'all say again? The colors you wash in cold and the the whites are in hot water. I'm like, don't mix them, right? And I'm like, oh my god, the washing machine tells you now. He's gonna
Oh,
come in.
that's so cute. I've not seen you as a mom in action.
How? He's so old now. Can you imagine? We can go to Texas State, baby. You want to go to
Oh
San
my
Marcos Town?
God.
Float the river? Have you floated
No,
the
I
river?
wanna float the
yet?
river.
Oh, you've got to float the river.
Let's go.
Yes.
So many people have said they're gonna take me and they haven't.
Oh, well, I got to take you now.
Okay, you're gonna
Yeah.
get it done.
We're going to add that to our list.
Okay, we're gonna host a podcast event in Houston.
We're hosting a meetup at the river.
That is my kind of
We
shit,
can
though.
do it.
I love
No,
to
we can
camp.
do it.
Do you camp? No,
Glamp.
of course you do.
Glamping.
Yeah, I've never seen you not.
So
done
I
that.
did camp when I was growing up.
Okay, you decided you didn't like it.
Back then it was okay. And now I'm just a girl who likes makeup,
Yeah,
likes her hair to be done. I don't like being bit by mosquitoes.
I know.
It's a lot. Houston's so freaking humid. But
Yeah. I've not camped in.
California is different.
I've not camped in
Yes.
Houston or
Oh,
Texas.
then you need to do it once and tell me if you still like it. It's sticky. It's very sticky.
Gross.
It's gross.
No. Yeah, I'm not sure. I've
But
glamped.
a camper with an AC or like a
Yeah,
glamping.
yeah. Like the getaway houses.
Have you glamped yet?
I've done the getaway house.
Yeah.
Out
Where-
like close to New Braunfels, I think.
Well, there's yeah, I know what you're talking
So
about.
that's a little camper with the AC.
Have you
the
been
shower.
to Fredericksburg?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Yeah, Frederick Wine Country.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's cool.
Well, our wine country.
Yeah,
It's a little different than Napa.
It's
Have you
not-
been to Napa?
I haven't been to Napa, but I've been to Paso and Temecula.
But okay, because I need to go to Napa.
Okay.
And next time we need to go to California together because my family lives in California.
Oh no, I
feel
didn't know
like
that.
we can go.
We can
do
go
some damage.
explore.
Yes, I
Little
think
road trip.
take this show on the road.
Oh my God, she's adding another thing. That's too much. We have to stop there. Okay, so you were married to your son's
Mm-mm.
father? No.
Not married.
Have you ever been married?
No,
Okay.
no.
Okay, tell me a little bit about, and only go as deep as you want, but your
Okay.
son's father, your
So
ex.
we were together, high school
Okay.
first, 17 all the way till on and off though. But my son was about 9, I think.
Okay.
I don't know. We're digging. But very young. I mean, basically, well, you don't know any better. Naive things I put up with that I wouldn't have known, or I mean, I wouldn't have done now, but I don't know any better.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I don't knock my son's dad. That's his dad. He's a good dad. I don't think he was the greatest to me, but do I expect different from him now? I don't know. I mean, I'm sure I would hope that he's better. He's married with kids, younger kids again.
Okay.
But it's not, we moved on, life goes on, and now I demand and expect a whole lot different. After him, I get
from men in your life now.
Yes. When I was younger, I was naive and didn't know any better. And I think when you're with a person that's your first, you don't know a lot. You don't know.
Well, then you add a kid to the mix, though, when you're young.
Oh,
and naive.
And that's probably why I stayed as long as I did, because of the fact that we had a kid.
Yeah.
Because I put up with, multiple different things. But a lot of times I'm just like, he's young, I'm young. What do you expect? I don't know. Maybe that's just me telling myself that, like, I can't really hold a grudge, to some of that stuff. But of course, it molded me to be the person I am, and I don't put up with a lot. It's like people are like, "Who hurt you? Who scarred you?" And I'm like, no, it's not so much that. It's just that I'm not the naive person I was back then, But I've dated, obviously, since him, handful of guys.
Keep it vague.
Handful of guys, and they would probably say, "Let loose and open let down your walls."
Okay.
So I'm very tough. Sometimes I can be, I don't know, not so. What's the word I'm looking for? We kind of
vulnerable, open.
Yeah, vulnerable for sure. It takes me a long time to be. That's another thing. I'm Scorpio, so it takes a long time. And then, on my way here, I heard a commercial. And it was the dumbest commercial I've ever heard.
Listen
and I
to
thought,
the radio?
I mean, the radio commercial. Sorry, yeah.
Oh,
yeah, sorry. Yeah, it was a TV show on the way.
No. I'm just like a commercial.
But it was a commercial on the radio.
Okay.
And it was for like a jewelry store. And the guy said she was talking about how he got her a ring. And he was like, yeah, for engagement or whatever. And he was like, yeah, I really love her. I really, really love her. And I was like, aren't you supposed to just love her? Like, I didn't understand the point of that corny ass line about getting engaged. And that was a commercial. And he was like, the ending was, I just really, really loved her. So that mushy shit is just not my thing.
You're not mushy.
No. Mm-mm. So if a guy comes with a mushy line or something like that, it's kind of like, for me. And for you? Mushy.
Like love bombing? Like,
okay,
baby girl, baby, like before they meet me? Yeah, I don't love that. Is that considered mushy?
I think so.
Yeah.
I mean, mushy might not be the right word. What will we call it? Like, giving too much too soon.
Too much. I think it's love bombing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I know that that's a term that gets thrown around, but it's like, yeah, that's too much too soon. That's like,
and then,
you're so great. Well, let's go here in a month. And it's like, yeah, you've only taken me on one date.
Yeah. Well,
no, I'm very turned off by that.
And then, like, what is the right scale? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, okay, if you meet somebody, let's just say an app, because that's where we're at. Mm-hmm. We're not at the mall anymore.
We are not at the
we're
mall.
Not at the
we're
mall
not meeting
anymore.
boys at the mall.
But if you meet someone on the app and then they're like, oh, did I tell you that I got on Hinge over the weekend?
Okay.
In Dallas.
Okay.
I mean, they're not much better, but the way that they would send a message was so corny.
What was it? Like, what were you getting?
I think I have 2 that I saved.
Okay, let's hear it.
And
Can I tell you that I last night I spoke to someone on the phone from Hinge while you're finding that.
Okay.
And he looked like the hottest man I've ever seen in my life. And then I got on the phone with him and he sounded like Walter Matthau from Grumpy Old Men.
No way.
This like 6'7", definitely basketball player, hot as shit, tatted up, great smile guy. And then I spoke to him and I was like, what?
Was it a catfish?
I don't know. It wasn't FaceTime, but I did not encourage him to call me again.
Yeah.
So I'll report back if we do.
Yeah, no. It could end with a voice. So I didn't know what app is that?
Hinge.
Okay, I didn't know you could do the voice thing.
No, we spoke on the phone.
No,
We
but I didn't
exchanged
know they
numbers.
could leave a voice
Oh,
message.
yes.
I mean, they could
Yes.
let you hear their voice.
Let me hear it.
No,
Oh.
I don't. First of all, we're already on pause. Hinge is on pause, but I did take a screenshot of the
Okay.
messages I got. So
Okay.
LB said, "Come to me."
Oh, Lord have mercy. Yeah,
LB,
that's way
I'm
too
on my
forward.
way. I'm on my way. Yeah, no. Okay. Then Steven said, "You're so beautiful. Let's go to dinner. We eat. I make you laugh. You get treated like a princess. You won't regret it. Let me show you how you should have been treated from the very beginning." What in are we writing a book? So he's even laughing in the back.
That's
I
crazy.
Immediately no.
Did you respond to either?
No. They got an X. On Hinge, that's a no.
Yeah.
Not a swipe, they got an X. So I just
It's
okay,
just too
I shouldn't say
much.
mushy, I should say corny.
Corny.
Right? I don't know. I don't that's why I don't like apps because it's immediate judging from what you're
Yeah, I
you
was
know?
gonna say, like, you're so right, and like I agree with you. However, I do feel genuinely,
Yeah.
I'm not you, but I feel like if it's a guy that you're attracted to or into, and you do feel that you would like to get to know that person more, you're gonna be more open to what they say.
Mhm.
That is the truth, right?
I think so.
So,
I mean, yeah, you're absolutely
like, I went on Hinge when I talked to this guy last night, and I went on to like make sure I clean up all my matches, delete everyone I'm annoyed, blah blah blah, and there was still a match from October. And so I sent, and I was like, wait, this guy is so good looking. Even though I haven't talked to him since October, we haven't talked. I'm going to shoot my shot again or shoot it. And so I said, shall we chat or no? And he was like, yeah, we should. And so we started chatting, which ended terribly. But like, typically I would be very turned off that we've had a match open since October. Why haven't you reached out to me? Why haven't I reached out to you? You know what I mean? But I was like, no, this guy's hot. Like, let's see what's up.
Well, but did he get lost? Because a lot of these, I mean, first night,
we are not meant to be though. Me and
those
that
notifications were going off left and right. Ding, ding, ding. I was like, shut up. Fresh meat.
I love
Fresh meat.
But wait a second. You live in Houston. So
I lied and said I was Dallas location.
Okay, but what are you looking for? Are you you're looking to match with somebody in Dallas for a fun weekend?
I might have been, but so far it's not looking good in Dallas either.
Yeah.
So I might have been. No,
You're open to dating long distance?
I'm open to long distance. I don't mind. I like to travel. They come here. I don't know. I just don't like, I mean, the apps just don't resonate with me. Every time I've tried them, and it's very hard to get me to, when it comes to the dating world, I don't know. It's so awkward. I'd rather meet people in person through people or, you know, stuff like that.
Do you have friends that set you up or think of you when you're out? Like, don't say anyone's name, but like you even set me up one time. Like we went out, somewhere and you introduced me, like, and like I
think it's easier because you're new. And so
I'm fresh meat.
Yes, fresh meat. And so it only works that way when you meet new people, right?
Okay.
Because there's complete people that you have that I've never met, and there's people that I have that you've never met. And when the people that you already know, they're dry, you're dry, this side's dry, that you pretty much know. I know you. Anybody that you might know, I don't think, unless it's somebody like, hey, there's a new guy at work, I think he'd be great for you.
Right.
And I haven't really seen that come up. But the guy friends that I have from like high school and like, I'm pretty much, there's not many guys that I
see a lot of people reconnecting with somebody that they were just friends with.
Yeah, and I think they just have to come out of the woodworks and be like, hey, I don't think it's
on
like
Facebook, it's happening there.
I don't think it's people that you've been friends with, right?
Yeah, it's somebody you haven't talked to in 15, 20
exactly.
years.
Because otherwise you're like, oh, because people get a glow up. You have a glow up after high school.
Well, absolutely.
And so I could see that. Like if someone's like, and you're like, hey, well, dang.
Yeah.
I could totally
what happened to
see
you?
That. Yeah. Not the same guy from Jack. Is that you?
Aww.
But it can happen. I mean, same with the girls.
Yeah.
Same with the girls. I mean, I think I'm hotter now than I was in high school.
I think I'm like, and both of us, and like, and I, not that I want to pet myself up too much, but like I feel the most beautiful that I've ever been. I feel very comfortable in my skin, and I think that that's something that adds to it. But like,
right.
I don't know. I think my skin and my hair here in Houston is doing something. You know
That
what I mean? I'm
humidity.
comfortable in my height. Took me a long time to. Did you have? You're so tiny. Did you ever have
That's not what.
issues because you're so?
No, because tall guys remember like
I
short
cannot.
girls.
I'm dead. Wait a second. I
Um,
have to share this. Continue. With
I
what
think
you
I
were
might
gonna
have
say.
seen it.
I'm
Was it a guy talking about the women?
about like
tall women expecting tall men?
yes.
I saw that and I thought of you.
Wait, I'm gonna play it. I'm gonna play it if I can find it. Okay, ready?
Yes. It's funny how it popped in both our feeds.
Someone sent this to me.
You seen a tall? When the last time you seen a tall man with a tall ass woman? Tall men ain't even attracted to tall women. They like short women. So then they take all the short women, then they leave all the tall women out here. Now it's just a bunch of short dudes trying to talk to tall women, and tall women don't like short men, but short men love tall women. The tall women looking for the tall dudes, but the tall dudes done stole all the short women, so the short dudes can't have no short women. It's crazy. It's stupid.
It is.
That's what we're dealing with.
So yes, I heard that.
And he thought of
I
me.
immediately thought of you. And honestly, it's not so much, but yes, there's so many women that are like, oh my God, I need a 6'5", 6'1", 6. I mean, I don't listen. Here's the problem, and I'm going to break this down so you can better understand it.
Learn me. Let's go.
Yes. I am 5'2". The reason why I want a tall man, I don't need a tall man as much anymore, but why we want if we have a son, we want our son to be tall. So we're short as fuck. You think we're going to produce that by ourselves?
Okay.
So the metrics have to make sense here.
The metrics don't make sense. His back and neck are gonna hurt when he bends down.
Who? Oh no, they're not. I'm sure you're seeing that that's not happening. They can pick you up, girl.
To you.
They can, yeah. Okay. It just that's what's happening. But I'm saying is I already had a son. I'm good. So now I don't need that. You know what? I don't need it to be so tall. So tall. I don't need it. I don't need it to be so tall or whatever. It doesn't have to be that dramatic. I mean, but I think that the older you get, all those things that you're like this, and that, it doesn't really matter because I think your person is going to be who it is.
I know.
And
blah, blah, blah.
the mushiness of it is all
Gross.
just going to make sense.
Gross. I did date someone who was 5'10". Everything was all good until he was drowning in my sweats. Just kidding.
Listen.
It wasn't all good, but when I saw that site, I said, yikes.
I know, and I can get it.
Because I wear oversized sweats.
Well, but I can get it for you because that's totally different. It's they got it, you know, for you, but it's hard because I just don't feel like there's enough.
No, there's not. My person literally, it's like 0.0000001% chance of existence.
Yeah.
So the search continues. The marathon continues. Shout out Nipsey.
I mean, maybe he's not in Houston.
I've always been open to dating outside of where I live. I just matched with someone on Raya.
We're going to London in November.
Who?
A couple girls.
Oh.
If you want to go, add that to the list.
November?
Yeah.
We're in November.
No, next year. Sorry.
Oh, my God.
No, because that's when the tree lighting happens and it's very beautiful. And the men are actually very sexy over there.
Yeah. No, I've been.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'm just throwing it out there.
Okay, something to keep in mind.
Yeah.
No, I'm open to dating outside of because my job I'm like hybrid remote, but I could be fully remote. And
they eat different over there. You know that, right? They don't have all this trash. Because there's not all the trash in the food that, unfortunately,
I thought you were talking about sexually.
Goes against us. No. I'm just talking about that actually stunts growth over here.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. So
something
if you
to
wonder.
think about.
Yeah.
Okay, wait. Back to you.
Mm-hmm. Oh.
Do you want to, how you said people have said lower your walls or lower your guard? Is that something that you're looking to do or?
So the last guy I dated definitely had that connection with him. And it was very easy to just not expect it. And he just was able to do that. Unfortunately, it was never going to go anywhere because he didn't have kids and he was younger. And so
Oh, and he
I
wanted
had-
kids and you don't want any more
Yeah,
kids.
and I didn't have a reason to have walls up because I wasn't protecting anything because I already knew it wasn't going to go anywhere. But unfortunately, it could have been a great relationship. So it did teach me that, like, I definitely don't have to be so hardcore, you know. I have to be more open, but I have to have the first, like, for him it was like somebody that I was like, oh my god, he's so hot, like this is. And when I say hot, he's the total opposite of what I've always dated, which I never thought I would even be doing.
Mm-hmm.
Like growing up, I was like, I like a certain guy. This is the guy I like,
Mhm.
and I'd be like, never, never would I date anything else.
Yeah.
And then when they tell you that everything changes as you get older, it definitely does.
I'm trying
Everything
to
does.
change my type.
I
I'm
don't know,
like,
I'm working on you.
I'm willing it. I'm like, please, I'm praying. Like,
Well, you can't help what's attracted to you, right? You can't
yeah,
help
but
that.
I also don't think I can help what I am attracted to.
No, but that's what I'm saying. You can, because I thought that. And then one day I was like, oh my God.
Because I want a nice guy.
Mm-hmm.
But when a nice guy talks to me, approaches me, I'm like,
I just think it's time. It's timing. And when I say that, I mean, like, I guess when I came into my 40s, that people in that age bracket change. And then, of course, you get the younger guys who are like, I mean, I don't know if they're thinking cougar, but I'm like, not your cougar. Sorry. I mean, I don't know what it is. I mean, obviously, when people come up to me, if they look, you know, a good age, if they don't look too young, I'm not necessarily being like, how old are you? And they're like, how old am I? But obviously, it comes up that I'm like, I have a son that's almost, you know, maybe
Yeah.
their age.
yeah.
But
You actually shout that out. A lot of the times that I've been with you, you'll say, like, I feel like you immediately,
which part?
If a guy looks young, or maybe they don't even look young, but you'll be like, I'm too old for you. I have a 24-year-old son. Like,
oh yeah,
is
that's
that
my easy
your-
go-to when I'm not interested at all.
Oh.
Not interested at all. Yeah. There's another thing I used to say, but I won't say that on here. That'll be later off air. That I used to say growing up, and it was always that was my go-to. And it right away it would they would just be like, I'm out. Good to know. Some would think that they would stand a chance to try, but no. But yeah, no, that's just an easy way to say, because you know, and
Save
that's
time on
and that's
entertaining it.
more when they're looking like under 30, 25. Like, seriously, I have a 24-year-old son. What do I look like? Guys may like that. No, guys may think that's okay when their daughter is a certain age and they're okay with dating. I'm not okay with that. It's
Mhm.
weird to me because when I see my son and I don't think he's mature at all, like some of the things that I know about him, I can't
Right.
imagine.
Right.
I can't imagine. So
It's a great.
don't experiment.
No, I was going to say that is an ick.
It's disgusting.
That's gotta be an ick.
And I can imagine my son going out, and can you imagine? No, this is an egg. Thinking about my son, thinking that a woman my age is, and thinking he's grown enough to talk to her. See, the thing that it's the
Step down.
and it's a problem because women at a certain age go through their moment of like wanting to have a good time again, or just, you know, and then there's always that young guy that thinks he can do it. He can do it for rabbit it all night.
Kristen Cavallari and what's his butt?
Yeah,
Were
exactly.
you into that?
No,
much? It was
I mean,
weird?
it was weird for me, but he was hot as hell.
Okay. So maybe
He's-
you would have dabbled.
No, because of his age. Oh, she's younger than me, so it made sense for them to.
Okay.
So I have a cutoff. My cutoff is 30
Okay.
now.
Very fair.
Now, but I mean, it also, as my son gets older, the cutoff changes.
It grows.
So,
Nushin.
whew,
Oh, that's funny.
you know,
Okay, so single in the city, you're open to dating outside of Houston and would like really be into that.
Mhm.
But you're ready for a long-term relationship? Or you're
kind of, maybe.
If you found the right person.
Yeah, it would have to grow on me. I'm okay with not. I'm okay with dating, and I'm okay with not being with anybody. I think something that is amazing is being comfortable with yourself and
Mhm.
not feeling like you need somebody. I definitely think that as women, we go through things that men don't understand in different ages, which is like you go through something in your 20s that you don't go through in your 30s and that you don't go through in your 40s. And every one of those has its own thing.
Mm.
And growth comes with that. So when a man doesn't need to complete you but can make you better, then your tolerance is a lot different.
Yeah.
You know, it's just very important to me that we balance each other out, where we definitely can help each other grow. I don't need somebody to come take care of me and save me.
Mm-hmm.
I need someone to be encouraging, though, and say, you can do these things, you can do that, same vice versa, right? And I think that we're getting a bad rap out here when a lot of people are like, he has to have this and he has to have, if he has a good heart and he's a good person and he's a good worker and he has potential to want more,
Yeah.
you know, to want other things, to travel, to, you know, I think those things are important. Obviously, I'm raising a son who I don't want somebody to expect all these things from him, because I hear him say all these young girls want is this, this, and that. And it's sad.
Yeah.
It's sad to think that this is where we're at. And
I know, I hate it. And I feel like we are so easily influenced by, everyone's got an opinion, which I love.
Mhm.
I love that everyone feels
yeah,
like they want to speak their mind, from all age groups, from whoever you are. But I do feel like you easily get in your head about things, especially with dating. Like, oh, well, the guy should do X, Y, Z. If he likes you and he's done X and Y, but not Z, he's not your guy. Get rid of that
Yeah.
guy, And it's
what
like,
car does he drive?
is there a little grace? Or like even the backstory? Like, women just want
Yeah.
free dinner. And it's like, no, they don't want dinner. They just want a quality
And look how
date.
many times we've talked about this, obviously, because we have podcasts. And I don't want a man to come wine and dine me and take me to a fancy steakhouse dinner for my first moment that I'm meeting you.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to be stuck with you if I don't like you and you spend all this money on me for the first date. I'm okay with coffee. I'm okay with knowing that, like, we fucking hit it off and now we can go do something better or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't waste your money on me, if you don't like me.
Yeah.
And I think that's another thing, is that for all these different things going on now, that like guys feel like if I don't take her here, if I don't take her there, I'm going to have she's going to think bad of me. Well, also too, what kind of girl are you looking for? What kind of girl are you trying to go on a date with? Because if she's a little baddie and you feel like she's going to let you know, I'm a little baddie and I expect this, this, and this and someone else is going to do it. Well, you know what? You brought that on yourself.
So true.
You brought that on yourself. My son had one of those and I was like, and he was like,
oh my God, I can't imagine you being.
oh my God.
I
I saw the picture he sent me and I was like, that's a no. That's a hell no. And he was like, Mom, just, I'm like, I could tell by the way she took that picture, that's a no. And then I was like, what's her sign? He's like, Scorpio. I'm like, that's a double hell no. Like, seriously?
Coming from a Scorpio.
Coming from a Scorpio, that's a no, because he's a Sagittarius. She will tear your ass up.
Oh my God.
I mean, like, seriously, this is what we're dealing with. I'm saving him.
I don't see an out for us.
It's
I
definitely
don't
getting
see it's
getting more complicated. It's getting difficult. And I think if we don't break I think something's going to change. I do think that. I do think you see people feeling like you're either going to be alone or you're going to start. That's why I said as you get older, things change, especially with women, because women always hold the key, because we hold the key to say yes, to say no, to do whatever. Men will always shoot their shot. But I think as men get tired of shooting their shot and not going anywhere, they change their standards too.
Mm-hmm.
So until you get to a little bit of that area, it just seems like, this is what I like. This is what I know. But listen, I can imagine if I'm still like this at 60, I'm going to change a lot. I'm like, he'll do.
I'll take anyone.
He's the one tonight. At the senior living, he'll do.
Oh my God, that's so funny.
I mean, at that point,
No, that's
it's
a great
totally
point.
different. At that point, it's totally different. How long does he have to live?
Right.
Perfect. I mean, like, life has its funny way of working things out. And I also think, like, you have to be positive. You have to manifest things. You have to want things and work towards it, like we were talking about with anything you do.
Mm-hmm.
And I've always been able to get things done that I want to do in life. One of the things that I hesitate on is saying that I want my person, I'm a little bit scared of that right now, to meet that person, and because I'm doing so many other things that I feel like it'll throw me off balance. But I do think if you kind of put it out there and really, really manifest on it,
I
could.
think you got to act right too, which I guess
Yeah,
sometimes I
no,
don't be acting
yes,
right.
please. That is a definite. Let's touch base on that.
We're
So
actually
if you
we're
keep-
actually coming close to
Mhm.
time, and so it's actually time for your wine of the week.
Real quick though, if you keep going after the same trash, if you keep going after that same stuff that's no good,
No offense to you guys, but she told me that I date ugly guys.
she does. I'm just saying, like ugly guy, you cannot date ugly guys and then
I
let
think they're
them.
hot. I
I-
like someone who's a little weird looking.
I know, but if they're ugly, they got to sweep you off your feet and be like,
Right,
they can't
of
be doing
course.
dumb shit.
Right.
Like seriously, like he's ugly, but he's fucking IT and like he's a little nerdy, but he's like, I mean, not like, how do you eat this edamame and throw soy sauce all over it? Like this is just weird.
She's talking about Raising Cane's fart guy. I forgot to tell that part of the story. Okay. What's your wine of the week?
Wine of the week is kind of sad.
Okay.
It totally changes everything we're talking about. I got dumped yesterday. Sunday. Wait, Sunday? What are we? Saturday night.
Okay.
Sunday, because Saturday night we went out and we know the friend. And right now we're in a weird time with politics. And like I said, I grew up in a time where you don't talk about politics, you don't talk about religion, you don't get in those gray areas. You do what you do and your business is your business. But now I feel like everybody's in everybody's business, everybody's divided, everybody's just. And I just feel like in this time, we need a lot more of understanding and love and like, how do we come together and how do we just freaking move forward?
Mm-hmm.
It is what it is. Well, went out with somebody and she's just in a bad space, negative space about things not going her way with that whole, the political situation. And she just can't believe that people can, think this way. And anybody who's on that is not for her. And she feels like she needs to cut people off, blah, blah, blah. And I'm feeling like, kind of like, wow, really? So, excuse me. So I'm like, well, I don't think, I feel like everybody deserves to have whoever they choose. And, it doesn't change who they are as a person. I mean, I don't want to get that deep or, I said, and as the individual, not everybody can because some people get too emotional. Some people, you know what I'm saying? They don't really want to discuss sides, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
And as we're going on or whatever, I just was feeling a certain type of way. And then she said I cut a friend off or blah, blah, blah. And then I was just kind of like, well, I mean, would you cut me off if I was like, the opposite or whatever? And she was just like, I would just totally feel different about you. I wouldn't even imagine that somebody could, da, da, da. And I was like, and then I said, well, why? What? She goes, well, tell me why. And I'm like, well, I don't feel like you really want to hear my why because it's just like you're on a rampage or whatever. And she was just like, well, I stand for this. And I said, well, as politics, you have to educate yourself. You have to understand way more than just one stance. It's so much more than that. And then, of course, I don't know politics. So all I can know is that I have a friend and this relates to me. And I was just like, well, that's just not enough. Anyways, so use me from, like we're at a collab that I invited her to and then we're drinking and stuff. And I was just like, well, I hope you don't break up with me because if you do, like I'm going to, it's a bad loss to you're going to lose out on because I'm a great friend, And, whatever. And then we hang out more and then I take her home. And then the next day she sends a text, I thought about it after she, the night or whatever. She's like, I thought about it and I just got to stand strong on I've never stood for anything, but she's like, now I'm like standing on business and I think it's in our best interest if, in other words, basically like not be friends. And I was just like, okay, well, you could have told me that last night and Ubered home. And I just thought that's just sad. Like, I don't know. I just think that in today's division is just sucks. It sucks.
It sucks and it's scary. And I've been in a state, not a location, like I've been in a mental state where I feel so strongly about something that I can't imagine. And I have felt harshly towards others that felt opposite of me. But as you grow, as you age, as you learn, as I'll speak for myself, I have learned. Well, first of all, actually, let me backtrack. One of the main reasons for starting Adultish Wines was because during COVID, I felt like there was so much disarray in my relationships. During COVID, it was vaccines, politics, abortion, presidents, race.
I feel like we're back there.
Whatever could be happening, mask wearing or not mask wearing, not standing too close. You're standing, get closer.
Yes.
COVID doesn't exist, all this stuff, you know? And it's like, I knew who my friends were. This whole time we've been friends for 15 years. I knew that you had those thoughts and we've been friends. But now that I'm being vocal about my thoughts on social media, which I started to be, our friendships started to deteriorate.
Yeah.
And that was a hard lesson for me to learn. And it took me a long time to learn it. But at the end of the day, I think that they're better for it. I am better for it. But one of the reasons why I started Adultish Wines is if we just knew a little bit more about each other, we could judge each other a little bit less. And so while I think that having political views is different political views is hard in relationships, even romantic relationships, I do really appreciate the conversation that can come from that.
Are you open to it?
I'm so open to it.
Yeah, and I think
I was just on a first date with somebody and it got brought up and he's like, oh,
I think
shoot.
with a mature person,
Yeah.
like, I think people need, I mean, it's like dating interracial. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, where are we? Like, I don't get it. Like, my son's half Black. So I'm just like, there's so much that we have to learn from each other. How are we here again? How are we back?
Yeah,
to,
it is. But also, like, it is so hard to try and understand the different view for, you know what I mean? Like, whether it's.
Well, when hate's involved.
When hate's involved.
When hate's involved.
Yeah. But I really had to take myself out of, like, guess what? I can't be the hero. I can't be the hero for the entire country. So I have to take myself. I mean, I'm going to vote the way I want to vote. I'm going to believe the way I want to believe. And I'm going to take action on the things that are important to me. Donate to the causes that are important to me. Hang around good quality human people. And if they see, I see dark blue and they see light blue, that's something we're going to have to agree to disagree on.
If they're okay with that, they can be around. And if they're not, then you remove it because you do have to protect your own energy. And I think in a way it's saving you from something in the future that might not go well.
Yeah.
And I do think that everything is meant to be for sure. But I do think that if we don't start coming together, I mean, we're going to see way more worse happen, you know, and it's scary.
Yeah. I follow someone on social media and she is very strongly for Kamala. And if you didn't vote for Kamala, then you were the worst person ever, and like unfollow and block me, and like I don't ever want, like, and she's a big influencer. And I want to say that, like, I really respect her point of view. First of all, she is a person of color. She's gone through things that I could never imagine going through. She stands for things that I don't have a leg to stand on. And I support her and I have similar views. But for me, like, it's hard to cut somebody off if you know that they're a good human and they have these thoughts. But then I also do see the side where, like, if you're a good human, why do they have those thoughts?
Yeah.
Like, I understand it. And it's just unfortunate. And I wish that it was more of a collaboration than a divide. But it's just not.
I agree. It's tough. I mean, that's where we're at. And I think that, I don't know. Well, only time will tell. Only time will tell. I mean, I'm going to be good. Hopefully you'll be good. Hopefully she'll be good. But I mean, you have to protect yourself and your own energy and stand on business if you believe in what you believe in. But you don't have to project on other people. You really don't. You know what I'm saying? You can support. I can support anything that's not even for what I stand for. Because if you're strongly believe in that, good for you. You know what I'm saying? I think that's a huge thing. Your own child could be different. You see people with their households are divided. But I mean, there's people cutting off family members and their own kids. That's weird to me. I don't know. I'm not there.
Yeah, I'm thankful I'm not in that.
Yeah, I'm not in that situation.
I just really I think that, like, I like to talk. I like to hear other people's point of view. So I think that's probably what makes me even more open to it now, especially after having a podcast and having people sit over there. And, like, we don't really talk about politics. It doesn't come up too much, but I'm open to it.
Yeah.
But having people sit over there who I would never assume would think that the way they did is always very, like, it's mind-blowing, but it's, like, interesting.
I love learning something new. That, to me, like, will it change my point of view or my opinion? Maybe not, but I love learning new things. I love educating myself. I love like if we were to have convo, I want to back my shit up. And I'm not going to speak on something I don't know. I'm going to have research. And if I don't know, I'm going to be like, you know what? I really don't know. So I probably shouldn't talk on that. Because I strongly believe if you don't know, don't speak on it. But if you want to continue, say, I don't know, but I'm going to go, research on it and then come back to you because I'd love to have this conversation. But not everybody can do that. And you have to know that not everybody can be on that level. And that's okay. I mean, I just pray for people. Hope, I would rather people pray for me than curse me. But but I mean, it is what it is. And we had a fun thing going and now we went all serious.
Oh, that's adultish wines.
Yeah.
It's fine. Well, I hope that there's
I'm
out of wine. I hope that there's maybe some room for growth or learning in that situation specifically. But even if anyone else is listening to this podcast, like I know firsthand, I have friends who believe the opposite of me, but I know that they're good humans. And I even had someone reach out to me on election day saying, hey, I know we believe totally opposite, different things, but I love you and I'm here for you. Like,
well,
that
here's
kind of
something
thing.
for you. So because we got kicked out of our studio because they're closing, and we're looking for a new studio, one of our guests,
Shout out Creators Guild.
Yes, maybe. So one of our guests was going to be a politician, congressman in Houston. That is the opposite of me, which is fine with me. Like I am open. Like come on, like let's talk about this. How do we do better? How do we come together? What do we do now? All these different things. But unfortunately, we had to cut our season's over.
Right.
So he'll be on next season.
Okay.
And things like that, because I'm just like, what do you do? If you're a politician and you're on the other side, you don't just quit.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You keep working, you keep pushing, and you keep doing your thing.
Keep it pushing.
Keep it pushing, baby.
Okay. Keep it. I'm going to pour you a
Keep
little bit
it
more because we
pushing.
can't cheers empty because I think that's bad luck or bad
Definitely bad luck.
sex. Thank you for coming on.
No, bad sex is when you don't look in the eye.
Oh, okay. Well, look me in the eye. Cheers. Thank you for coming on Adultish
Thank
Wines.
you for having me.
Where can we find you and Her Opinion podcast?
So at Her Opinion Show on everything. IG, TikTok, Spotify, Apple, what else? YouTube, everywhere. That's where I'm at. And then I'm at Just JUSNUNUSLIFE, Just NuNu's Life. That's my food blogging side on TikTok and Instagram. So yeah.
Perfect. Follow along your food blogging days. You might see me as a plus one.
You probably will. You probably will. Unless she's cutting me off for some sad reason.
No, what's actually so funny is after the podcast that we did for you and after we did an event, I've had a date after. So now like the running joke is NuNu has been asking me like, you have a date after this? You have a date after this?
I was like, well, you did say
because I stay ready.
Like, because you're like, any moment I have a free time, I'm gonna. Poor Pedro. He's like, she's on another date.
Oh my God, poor Pedro. Get over it.
She must be on another date. Do you tell him I'm bringing home a daddy? Hopefully, I can find you a daddy.
I've never told him that.
Be like,
no, I don't want him to know what I'd be doing out there. We gotta go. Love you guys. Bye.
If dogs could speak.